Okay. So for today's fly, I'm gonna make a streamer this time on hooks, jointed one with two hooks. So it's a bit more tricky than the tube flies, but not that much trickier, I think. And I have been fishing this one for almost all kinds of trout. I have caught char, big brown trout, big rainbow trout. On this one, I've fished it in both lakes and rivers and streams. It works good all the same. You can just let it swim by itself and not make any movement to it, or you can retrieve it as you want to. It's really good. It swims in so many ways depending on how you retrieve it. Yeah, let's give it a try. First we're gonna start off with the safety tinsel. I use it to secure the sonker on this one. Just silver, tied in. Like so. And we're gonna use Opossum sonker on this one in the color Patagorva. Yeah, it works almost everywhere all year around. Really good color. And all kinds of fish like it, both trout and perch and pike, everything. Really good. So we're gonna start off with dubbing the body first. No, I think we're gonna secure the wing first to make it a little prettier, like so. And just measure where you're gonna secure the wing. Like so. Yeah, like so. And then I tie it in 2 laps like so, hard, and just fold it backwards. And then we start with the dubbing, and it's important here that we make, this is the hook that's gonna be in the back of the fly, and it's important that we make the back side of the fly thinner, so it tapers from a bigger head and tapers thinner and thinner, so it swims better. If the back end of the fly is bigger, it has a tendency not to swim as good, in my experience anyways. Yeah, so we're gonna start up with just some white dub with some UV in it, a bit of purple to it. And I'm gonna dub the body almost as far as that. We don't need to have a super fat body on the back side. Maybe, I don't know, it doesn't matter really. It's just for some white color to the belly of the fly to imitate the underside of fish that most of the time is white. So it's not important to have super much dubbing, just so it covers the hook and tapers a bit. Yeah. And that looks great. I'm gonna brush it out a little bit later on, so that's a good start. Then I'm just gonna fold the wing forward like so. I'm just gonna see that I get the wing the way I want it. Yeah, like so. Then we tie in the wing, and there's no need to be careful with anything here. It's better that you tie it in properly, hard, because the trout ain't gonna be careful with the fly, so it's good that it's tough. Yeah, like so. And then we're gonna use the tinsel as a safety for the sonker material. Start just working it forwards through the sonker. Try to not tangle in here if possible. You're gonna tangle some here, that's unavoidable, but we're gonna try anyways. Like so. Like so. Just keep on moving it forward. Like so, looks great. And then I just tie it in. Like so. And I see so that the sonker is on top of the hook. Yeah, looks good. And then I cut off this one. Like so. And the last thing I'm gonna do with the back hook is use a hackle in the front. And I don't need a lot of material here, so I'm gonna just use a few laps. Like so. Tie it in. And just move the hackle forwards. And try to have the fibers going backwards. like so. Then I tie it in. Looks good. Simple and deadly. And then I'm gonna just make a quick safety knot here, and then I'm gonna glue the head on this one. So this is just for keeping the thread where it's supposed to be. Like for the second part, the front part of the fly, I'm gonna be using a oryx hook that bends a little forwards like this, so I can use a wedge style deer hair head in the front. It has worked really good for me, and I don't think it affects the way the fly casts in a negative way. It works good. Yeah, so we're gonna start by taking the thread, the wire. It's I think it's used to make your own pike leaders, and I'm using them for trout streamers instead. Works perfectly. And I'm gonna use 2 beads between the hooks. These ones glow in the dark. I don't know if it has any effect, but it might have, so I'm using them. So we're gonna start off by just getting it through the beads like so. Now we have it folded in double like this with the beads in place, and I'm gonna release this hook and take the next one. Yeah. So I'm gonna start off, and this I have 2 weights on it as well, and it's not to make it, it's just to punch it through the surface when I cast it, because most of the time the trout will notice the fly immediately, and it needs to get down in the water quite fast and start fish immediately. It doesn't have the time to just lie on the surface and suck the water in the material. It has to punch through, and then I retrieve it right away. That is the method that has worked the best for me anyways. Like so. Like so. The back hook first. Just measuring out. I don't want the loop to be too big in the back, so I'm gonna just tie it in a little bit. And then I'm gonna see how big I want it to be. Maybe, yeah, like so. And then I'm gonna tie it in really hard here. You can use all the force, because it's important that you trust the fly that it will last, so you can really put the pressure on big fish. The thought of the fly breaking should never be in the back of your head. So it's better that you take the time and really make it last, so you can use it a long time. Like so. Then I remove the excess. Like so. Looks great. Yep. And then I'm gonna use kind of the same technique here. I'm gonna use a tinsel as a safety for the materials. So I tie that one in first. Like so. And then I will be using a feather to get some volume for the body. I'm going to be using a grouse feather again, I think. And you would just tie that one in. Like so. And then I'm gonna take the wing and measure this so to see how big I want it. I have noticed a thing with these flies, that if you use a sonker and the skin of the sonker goes too far back over the beads here, it has a tendency to move slightly worse in the water. It has a tendency to kick upwards instead of, when you have a smaller piece of sonker, the hair lies on top of the back and it looks more natural in the water. I have no idea if it affects the fishing in any way, but it looks way better if it's a little bit shorter but the hair is longer. Just a thought. Like so. And then I'm just gonna put the wing, I'm gonna tie it in the same way as I did in the back. I'm just gonna do it like so, maybe, and just a couple of laps for safety. 1, 2, maybe, like so, and tie it in hard. Here you can see what I was talking about. You can see that it starts to kick upwards, And then I'm gonna fix by just pulling it a little bit forwards later, because it has a tendency to mess up the movement, and I don't like it. Yeah, much better. So we fold the wing backwards a bit, and then I will start with the body. So just as before, start off by dubbing this body here. And it's the same as on the back hook. It doesn't have to be that much dubbing, because the feather is gonna make most of the volume of the body, so it doesn't have to be a lot. And these flies, I don't know what to call them. I have no name for them. But they have really proved themselves to be good. I have caught a lot of big fish, and it has proven over time that you may not get as much fish on these flies, but you get the big ones. The small ones tend to not go for these type of flies, but the big ones does. They love it, and I'm all for that. No problem for me. And by big ones, I mean maybe 2 kilos and upwards. I have almost no fish under 2 kilos on these flies. And that's great. Yeah, I think that will be good. I will be brushing this one out later on as well. Yeah, so I will first start to move the feather forwards. Try to get all the fibers folding to the back, and just move it forward on the fly. It doesn't have to be super pretty in any way. This is just for volume, like so. As you can see, the hackle builds volume in a way that the dubbing can't, so I have a tendency to use body hackles on the front hook, not the back one. And now I'm just gonna fold the wing forwards and try to keep all the fibers from getting tangled. Maybe like so. Like so. Yeah, that works for me. And tie it in. And I'll be using some glue here. Be sure that it won't move in the future. Like so. Then I'm gonna move this safety tinsel forward and try not to tangle everything, just move it back and forth and try to not get tangled in all the fibers. It will be tangled, but just try to get it forwards. That's the most important thing here. Move it back and forth. It is a little bit tricky with all the fibers and hairs, but just take it careful. It's no rush. And tie it in. Like so. Yeah. Looks okay. Now there's not that much left on this fly. I'm just gonna tie it all the way down here. Like so. And then I'm gonna use a small wing on top. Just for some added volume. It really isn't needed, but you know how it is. Like so. Yeah. Perfect. I will cut off the excess. And then I'm gonna move on with the belly. I'm gonna be using a little more flash dubbing here, and I'm gonna fold it double like so. I'm gonna fold it back. No, I didn't like that, so I'm gonna back it off and get it the way I want it to be. Yeah, that's better. Like so. Yeah, and the last part here is of course the deer hair head. I'm gonna use just a little bunch of deer hair on the bottom side, not much at all, like so. And I'm gonna tie that in just 2 laps maybe, like so. And then I'm gonna take the real bunch for the top side of the hook. Here I will be taking quite a lot, like so. And just 2 loose wraps at first, and then I'm gonna tighten it. Tighten, and slowly work my way forwards. Here. And tighten, don't be afraid to really give it a tug. Working my way forwards. See if I can find the front of the hook here. Like so. And here I will be using glue to make a safety for this. so it won't. Like so. And what's left now is just to start to trim it after the glue has dried. Here we have the final product. You can see I make kind of a wedge style head on it. Yeah. Takes a little practice to make it, not the easiest fly, but it has been worth it for me anyways. So yeah, the final product. Give it a try and thank you for watching.